So in the resources for this section, you're going to find this enemy animations. So let's just install that. So obviously just click on this. There's only two animations, and it's a standard run with gun or standard run, and that's obviously with the melee weapons. So let's just import that. Comes in a folder called enemy animations, and in fact I might just drag that folder into the HorrorFuse characters, and then maybe drag that folder into the animations. Okay, there we go, and then obviously we can keep everything nicely together. So we are going to be using those a little bit later to get these enemies to start running towards you. But the first thing I want to do is start putting down some of these pickups in strategic places. Okay, so I'm just going to switch off my lighting and my environment effects. And these particular pickups that we were using for testing purposes, I'm just going to get rid of these. So it's under my assets, pickups, and obviously we've got these ones. So I'm just going to select all of these and just delete all of those, okay, because we have got them in a pickups prefab folder. Okay, so I want to take my main player, which is here, and I want to put him on the beach because that's where he's going to start. So let's just find the FPS controller and really zoom out quite a bit and find this initial beach area. Forget where it is actually. Oh, over there. Okay, so yep, let's just move this main player. Then we can double click on the FPS player to get a little bit closer. Okay, that's looking good. So when we take a look through the game screen there, we can see that we've got this interesting view over this water there. I think that's a pretty good starting place. Now one of the things that I'm not too keen on, if I can just temporarily switch off the night vision camera and take a look through the game screen. Oh, it's really difficult to see actually, but this this sand texture is a little bit too shiny for my liking. So we need to click on the terrain if we can, or maybe just find the terrain. If you can't find it, obviously just type it into the there it is, into the search, and always delete out what you got in the search to return back to this view. Okay, so with the terrain, we're going to click on paint terrain. And we're going to go to our paint textures, find our sand texture, and let's just open that. And obviously we'd set the smoothness and the metallicity to these values. So I'm actually just going to take my smoothness way down. Okay, so to about 0.266. All right, that should do it. Because obviously it's still going to glow when the light hits it, but at the moment, because it's so shiny, when the light hits it, it almost sort of becomes too bright and too overexposed. It would have been nice if there wasn't that rotating light from the lighthouse. But I think this is going to be so much better. All right, so sort that out for your sand. And what I want to do now is obviously put in my pickups. So if my character starts right here, obviously he can explore anywhere around here, but he's not going to find very much until he starts to go this way, until he takes this path. Okay, now I want something to be in this little hut right here, so I'm just going to click on this, double click to get closer to it. Okay, so if the character does decide to come into this hut, he's going to find some stuff inside of here. Can be a little bit difficult actually navigating inside. So I'm going to place an apple so that he can regenerate his health. So let's where am I? Let's come back to our pickup prefabs and just drag in an apple. Potentially just put it over here like this. Okay. It may look a little bit big for an apple. I mean, it's almost as big as that chair, but over exaggeration is something that you kind of see in games. It's just so that the player will notice it. And I also want a baseball bat to sort of be hiding behind this cupboard, this cabinet. So unless you're actually really looking, you're not going to be able to find this. So I'm going to place it in here. Okay, so I'm going to take my baseball bat and put this into place, and I'm actually going to stand this one up. Or am I? Actually, maybe I'm not, because the reason why I'm not is this trigger cube that you have to be in order to be able to pick it up. If I do that, it may actually affect that trigger cube. So what I'm going to do is just rotate this around a little bit so it's sort of laying on the floor. Yeah, something like this I think would be good. Okay, so when you enter the room, unless you actually look through the entire room, you could potentially miss that bat. Okay, so those are my first pickups placed in there. Now I'm only planning on having that one weapon to be able to pick up. You have to defeat the enemies in order to pick up the other weapons. So once you've killed an enemy, we're going to spawn in a weapon, and we're going to handle that in the next section.